truth. Welcome to the truth. Welcome to the truth, where the truth don't lie. 3 T's, no lie.
Get started.
Welcome to the truth, where the truth don't lie. 3 T's, no lie. Welcome to the truth, where the truth
Enough said.
Right.
3 T's, no lie. Welcome to the truth, where the truth don't lie. 3 T's, no lie. Welcome to the truth. Welcome to the truth.
All right. Good evening, co-host.
Good evening, co-host. How you doing?
I'm good. Do you be jamming to our intro like I do? And did me say jam and just like date me?
Just a smidge, but it's okay. We here for it. We here for it.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, y'all. Welcome to T.D.T. Talk. How y'all
Where we
doing?
tell you
Hey,
the truth. Hey, Ava.
We
Where
here.
my faithfuls? Where's Melissa? Where are my faithfuls at?
Y'all got to give a check-in. Hey, shout us out.
How you doing? Something.
Yes. We have another exciting. Every week we have an exciting topic.
That we did.
But I'm ready to go ahead and get it started.
Me too. It needs to be talked about.
Yeah, while y'all coming on in the room, we're going to go ahead and pop this thing off. Co-host, you ready?
Girl, I've been born ready.
All right. Welcome to T.D.T. Talk, where we tell you
the damn truth.
Yes. Chat. Look, we going to have to give y'all what y'all need tonight, okay? Tonight's topic, the misunderstood Black child, misrepresented in society. Now, we don't have anything that we're going to share, so I'm going to skip the whole copyright thing. But as always, we do talk about topics that we do relate to mental health. And the topics that we talk about are somewhat controversial, I believe, and could be triggering. So if you feel that you need to speak to someone, please let us know. We do have our resident therapist, Miss Naisha Diggs, and we will ensure confidentiality.
Yes, Lord. Yes, we will. All day. That's all I can say. All day. We gonna ensure it. Definitely.
All right. Carl, look, I got my pearls on today. That means I'm being a good girl today.
Okay. I'm gonna be professional because I'm gonna just be professional today. That's it. That's all.
Okay, we're gonna get professional, Carl, today.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Look, y'all better buckle up.
Buckle all the way up.
Good girl and professional. Okay.
Tonight
we are talking about the babies, the children.
Yes. Hello, Vanessa. Welcome.
We got on the mamas. We got on the daddies. Yeah. Now it's time to talk about the babies. So let's go ahead and start it off. So properly utilizing resources. So we have so many resources available to us to help our children, right? So you can go to your school, whatever school your child is at. You can go to the counselor at the school. They will give you a list of resources based on whatever your needs are. If your family is having food insecurities, they can help you get set up with food. If you are having issues paying your bills, there are resources to help you get money to pay your rent and utilities also. They will also give you resources for mental health based on what the issue is. Now, these resources exist on their own where you can access them on your own as well. I would just like to talk about a couple of the resources that we utilize on our own improperly. Number one, calling the police on yourself. Carl, why we do that?
And for those of you that may not understand police, they also go by the 5-0, the popos, the fuzz, any of those phrases. Just want to make sure that you're with us. Want to make sure you're with us. I don't know why. I'm not calling the police on myself. At best, I'm going to call the police on someone else, possibly my child, if they ever get too crazy. But I'm not calling on me.
But that's the thing. calling the police on your child is what we're talking about today. And let me just take you down the road of how that can all go wrong, okay? Whatever
Mhm.
issue that you are having in the house with your child, now, mind you, let me just make a disclaimer here. If anyone is in danger of being harmed or hurt, killed, absolutely. We want to
Mhm.
call in law enforcement for that reason. Somebody's about to get hurt. Okay, you do want to go ahead and call in like emergency type hurt.
Yeah.
And you know
Hold
what?
on. Hold on, Sharon. Let me jump in here because I feel you and I feel our spirits as they vibing tonight because we talking
Mhm.
about the children. First of all, y'all, we ain't never spoke on the children. Let's just keep that 1,000. We've never discussed children because we feel like we need to be the example. So by us improving ourselves, we're mimicking a behavior or displaying a behavior that our child can mimic. With that being said, Black people, just can you wake up just one. I know it's 9:30, 9:40 at night or whenever you're watching this. Wake up for me real quick.
Get up.
When you're calling the police due to an emergency, by all means call the popos if you are in a life-threatening emergency. But one thing Black people we tend to forget to do is explain that whomever you're calling the police on may be experiencing a mental health issue. So
Yeah.
when you give that disclaimer, you are letting law enforcement know that this is not a typical behavior that is normally displayed. This is due to it could be bipolar, schizophrenia, it could be
Mhm.
manic depressive. There's so many variables, but when we are able to communicate that effectively rather than reacting to the situation, somebody better come over here and get them because they gonna meet their maker. Stop being ignorant in the moment because what you
Yeah.
say can and will be used against you in the court of law. I'm sorry, Sharon. I just wanted to give that little brief.
Look, I'm glad that you did because I was trying to say it tactfully because we're talking about the children. We want to handle this delicately tonight. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that part. So calling the police on yourself, let's just say, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever it is that you have found out that your child did that you are really upset and feeling emotional about, you call the police come. A of all, Carl, most people don't know to give that disclaimer. So you
Nope.
probably just helped a bunch of people out today. And then parent probably don't even know their child is suffering from a mental health issue. So they don't know to
Nope.
report it anyway. And at
Mm-hmm.
however this child is acting out are just simply symptoms of trauma. But calling the police on yourself, the police show up to your house. They don't know what's going on. They show up, first of all, they are thinking they're coming to a hostile thing. Nobody calls the cops unless some shit's going down, right?
That part.
It should
That
be an
part.
extreme situation when you call the cops, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the cops get to the house, and now there's a report that has to be made. We're creating this paper trail, okay? All right, so now we got this paper trail going. If you have minor children in your house that you cannot control, guess who else is getting involved? DSS, Department of Social Services. Hello. Now we have some more people all up and through your business because you opened up this
Mm-hmm.
gateway to resources
Yep.
because you started out by improperly using them. Now, should you have called the cops? No, no, stop calling the cops on yourself. You know, go to therapy, get a mental health counselor. Do that. That's the thing we're so scared of. But we'll call
Mm-hmm.
911 quick. But we don't want to deal with the consequences of 911. So now DSS is all up in your household, right? Now we got to
Mm-hmm.
order a psychological evaluation because what you're saying don't make no sense. And you spilling your guts and vomiting your whole entire life when you're talking about some trauma stuff, some cultural, generational trauma stuff, that LCSW, straight out of whatever school she's from that's wanting to save the world, don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. And you saying things to her like, Oh yeah, he talking about he hear voices and all of this stuff. Schizophrenia. Okay.
Hmm.
That is a
Check.
major diagnosis, okay?
Hmm.
When really that's not what's happening at all. It's just, so we do these things by improperly utilizing resources. We think
Hmm.
they're here to help us. But what we're not realizing is that systemic racism does exist.
Very
System ain't
much
made
so.
for you. It's not made for you. Okay. So since it is not made for you, you have to know how to properly utilize it. Okay. You just
Hold
can't
on,
be
Sharon.
willy-nilly with
Hold on. I need you to replay that because see what you're doing right now is you're spitting knowledge and someone missed that.
it.
Repeat that about the system. Repeat that one more time.
The
Who is the
system is
system? Is the system made for us?
No, the system is not made for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Us. The system is not made for us. You look like me. Okay. The system's not made for you. Systemic racism is a real thing. Okay. So all
Yes.
these policies and procedures are in place not to make it look like they're helping you. But really it's not because you're gonna be tied up with social services coming to your house once a week for 2 years for absolutely no reason.
Yep.
Yeah, so you have the resources can be good. You have to understand the policy and you have to understand how to properly utilize that resource so that it is a benefit to you and it's not
Mhm.
sitting there being held against you. There are some people in DJJ that will completely ignore one client, calling them on the phone. This client cutting up, like, I need you, where you at? They not doing nothing,
Mhm.
these are the behaviors. No, can't find them. But another client with less behaviors, oh, that client getting 2, 3 phone calls a week. I'm getting those phone calls too.
Office visits,
Following up,
surprise
following.
visits.
Oh yeah, everything.
Yep.
But you call the cops on yourself, and you started this whole situation
Hmm.
out of fear, out of fear of dealing with mental health.
That part.
Let me give a scenario. So you have a child. Your child is feeling just hadn't been acting right, just out of the blue. They're snappy. They're angry all the time. They're irritable. Maybe they started drinking, coming home high, and one day they came home drunk and high, toe back,
Go
right?
all the way back.
Oh, all the way back, right? These behaviors just started 20 days ago, out of the blue. You ain't asked that child no question about what they possibly going through. But
Hmm.
because you tired, dealing with your own depression, upset, angry, the child coming in the house, maybe with some aggressive behavior, drinking and drugs, and you call the cops and say what Carl said, somebody better come get him because for something happened.
Hmm.
Okay. Cops show up, you got a minor under the influence. Now I'm calling DSS because somebody got to be here. You obviously can't control your children in the household, and you got babies in here too. Now DSS got a case.
Strong case.
Yeah,
Strong case.
you know. So what really happened to your child is that maybe uncle touched him 30 days ago. Maybe a coach at school touched him 30 days ago. Ain't nobody asked him what has changed in his life or what he's going through or what's going on. Why is he acting this way? At all. And for a therapist, you don't have to have a diagnosed mental health disorder to come see a therapist. You may just want to talk. Do a check-in. Want to, get my mind right. Got some stuff going on. I don't know
Maintenance.
what it
Maintenance
is.
call. It's a
Yeah.
maintenance.
My
Every six
child,
months.
he ain't acting right. Let me make an appointment so he can talk to you. Maybe you
Hmm.
can find out. He ain't talking to me. But we
Yes.
don't do that. We call the cops because we acting gangster too, right? Come get him because I'm fitting or whatever him up. Okay. Now you got all these issues. So the information that they gather about you and your family through all of these resources, and mind you, when they are taking assessments, everything that you say becomes a part of your permanent record. Mental health records they're not like juvie records. They follow you for the rest of your life. They're there.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are embellishing to try and make your child look bad, because you're mad at them for whatever reason, all of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff sticks. And what's really happening is they're looking at you, trying to figure out why your child acting like this and why you can't control your child. So you're making yourself look bad. And
Mm-hmm.
now you've just walked yourself into a whole slew of services that will micromanage your life for the next 1 to 2 years. Got you
Or
all up in
more.
intensive in-home services for crisis intervention, coming to your house 3 to 4 days a week, 2 hours a pop for 6 months. Mandatory.
Or they will remove your child. Oh, excuse me. Depending on the severity of the situation as to why the police and DSS were called, they will remove all children from the residence, at which time they will be tried to be placed with other family members until you, the parent, complete X, Y, and Z. And X, Y, and Z typically involves parenting classes. Now, mind you, this was just one hiccup in which you were emotionally driven, emotionally charged, emotionally reactive, and it made the situation worse than what it was. So, in the process of you making it worse than what it was, you have things you have to do for them to even consider your children returning back into your care. Just
Mm-hmm.
in case you don't know, we want to be the ones to tell you the damn truth here at T.D.T.
And you
You're
know
going to
what?
share it.
Yeah, and my question is, how have you been helped yet? Because you called to get your child some help, right? Because that's what you're saying now.
Mm-hmm.
I called to get my child some help. Okay, well, you know what? Just as mad as you were with your child was mad at you too, and they told everything you've ever done that they have ever seen,
Everything.
and they put
Everything.
some stank on it because they embellished as well.
Yep.
And guess
Yes,
who they're
they
gonna
did.
believe? They don't know who to believe, so they don't believe everything. Oh, my
That
mama
part.
slapped me. She slapped everybody in the house. You probably ain't never slapped nobody. But hey, if it was said, it's written down and everything is held against you.
That part.
So know your rights. Advocate for your children instead of just rolling over and calling the cops on yourself and trying to throw it off on somebody else to parent them in that moment. Carl, what you got?
Hold on, because Ava put up something in here. She said, when you inform the law enforcement there is a mental health crisis, they are supposed to send someone like me or Sharon or anybody that works in the mental health field or an officer. And nine out of 10 times, y'all, they provide mobile crisis. Whoever the law enforcement are having that relationship with, they will call
Mhm.
them to have them come and assist when you tell them what's going on ahead of time. Now, if you wait and you're popping off, acting real ratchet, come on, Black folks. I know somebody can give me an amen because we can get real ratchet in the moment. Now you have to wait for the mobile crisis unit to arrive, and that could be another 20, 30 minutes because y'all got to think they're on a crisis call, which means they have 1 hour from the time the call is placed to arrive at your residence. So in that time, you're still emotionally driven, emotionally charged. You're not helping the situation because when that worker comes, they're going to speak to the officer as well. So if you're popping off, yelling, acting belligerent, because that is their favorite word. The client's parent was in a belligerent state. The moment that B word is dropped, you best believe you're gonna have some involvement quickly. Quickly. So I'm sorry, Sharon. I just wanted to I love what Ava said there because it's so true.
Absolutely, so true. And some police departments have specifically the CIT trained officers with them, like they go through the program. Not a lot, not all police stations or police departments have them, which is really sad because there should be funds for that.
That part. Thank you, Vanessa. We we should have those funds made because as we see, mental health is on the rise, you guys. Not only just the mental health issue within itself, but awareness of mental health. COVID-19 came in like a damn wrecking ball. And if you have been avoidant of your mental health issues, you have to think isolation. When they say silence is so loud, you had 365 days to sit your ass in your home with your children, with your baby daddy that you just caught cheating 2 weeks before March 20th,
So many,
2020, when they
many
shut the damn
breakups.
world down. Now you gotta look this mother lover in the eye when you know he was bumping and grinding and just getting his little groove on at the club the weekend before. Now you got one whole year to deal with him. Then we got an increase in domestic violence because you done went upside his head. Some of y'all women was watching Medea one time too damn many and then took some hot grits and tossed it on her. Now you facing 5 to 10. I don't understand it, ladies. Y'all picked the wrong things to take from the movies. You didn't take the good message. You took the thing that was gonna scar them,
Uh-huh.
and now you got 5 to 10.
Oh, dang.
Say la vie. Vanessa said mental health is on the rise, and we need to take care of our own. And Vanessa, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And the only way we can take care of our own is knowledge. We are so hell bent as a community to take the word of somebody else. That heifer credit score is 320.
Oh, dang.
She been on Section 8 since her grandma started the whole paperwork process. And we will take the words of people that we feel have lived experience, but stupid begot stupidity,
Mm.
which begot just dumbass. You're dumb. At this point, it's just dumb. That's 3 generations of dumb. That's stupid as hell. It's stupid. So I'm sorry, Sarah. You know me. I got to add a little
Look,
pizzazz, if you will.
I'm here
This
for it.
is it's a serious conversation, but
It's
y'all,
it's so
ooh,
serious, I appreciate. Yes, thank you, Carl.
you're welcome. 'Cause I want you guys to understand we do this daily, day
Mm.
in, day out. And then y'all have to think we're therapists who have our own lives, right? And in the process of having our own lives, we could see up to, for me, I could see anywhere from 12 to 20 people a day. Okay. 12 to 20. That's 12 to 20 individual problems that I am helping to facilitate to a solution. Okay. So now it doesn't matter if I had a bad day. Me and my wife was arguing the night before. When I come to work, everything has to be left at the table. Y'all would be surprised the things we hear.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And
And then
read.
we have to keep a straight face, y'all. That is hard. That's hard. Oh, it's so hard. So Sharon brings us to the process of utilizing resources, what not to do. So, in the lieu of what not to do, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next. So, now you have someone who's coming into your home that is intended to help you. Okay. That's what the goal is.
Mhm.
However, some individuals that enter your home do not understand our culture, do not understand that we're loud, which when we're loud and we're excited and we're in the moment, that can come off or present as being very aggressive,
Mhm.
being defiant, um, or just rambunctious, and the parent doesn't have control. That's what it looks like in the moment. A lot of people also don't know that in the Black community, we talk shit. We talk shit. Surprise! We talk shit. Your grandma talk shit. Your mama talk shit. The uncles,
Yes.
cousins, all of them. And when we pissed off, we're still talking shit. And it could be 4 or 5 police officers there. And you best believe I'm going to put on an Academy Award winning performance.
That's
I'm
some
going to,
YouTube is.
bruh, I'm going to string together cuss words and languages that I may slip and start doing sign language just because I wanted to have a good production, which I'm good in sign language. So don't think I just said that just
I
because
know.
I do
Look,
know sign.
I cannot wait. I would love. Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep going. I'm here.
Sure. So, in the process of this individual coming into your home that does not understand or has ever lived this experience, they misdiagnose your child. Again, newsflash, ladies, gentlemen, children watching. As a minority, we are diagnosed with four of the most harshest diagnoses to date. And this has been going on for years since what, the DSM? And right
Yeah.
now we're currently on the DSM-5.
Mm-hmm.
So the original DSM was, whoa, some of them diagnoses was off the chain. However, I want to just give you guys a glimpse of the top four diagnoses that are given to Black children than any other race. These are statistically proven that we receive these diagnoses at a much higher and alarming rate than any other race currently identified. So we have ODD. For many of y'all may not know what ODD is, but it's oppositional defiance. This type of behavior disorder, it's mostly diagnosed in childhood. So, like Sharon said, you called because your child was acting a fool, and because of everything you're saying and what they're seeing, they've diagnosed your child with ODD. This is because they're uncooperative, defiant, hostile towards peers, parents, teachers, and authority figures. So the police came. Now they're getting hyphy and feeding off the energy. Oh, you gonna call the police on me? Whoop that in the third. Now we have the diagnosis of oppositional defiance. Another one that is often diagnosed within Black males is DMDD. That is disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. This is a condition in which a child is chronically irritable. So 30 days ago, Sharon said the child might have been touched. The child might have experienced something that he has yet to convey to the parent. So he's been chronically irritable. Which is being experienced frequently. Severe temper outbursts, which would explain the reason why you just called the police, that seems out of proportion to the situation at hand. So this child just popped off because you told him to put the plate off the table into the sink. So him cussing and throwing stuff, that's not typical behavior. But because you as a parent have not identified, first of all, shame on you for not seeing or recognizing when something is wrong with your child. And I don't want to shame you. So I won't say shame on you. Do better.
Do better.
I have a 4-year-old and I can tell when he's pissed. I can tell when his stomach hurts. I can tell when he wants attention. Sometimes it's not even because I want to. It's he won't leave me alone, y'all. He's right here all the time. He's everywhere and nowhere all at once. So, I know my child, but on the same token, I also speak to my child. We have conversations in the morning when we're brushing our teeth. I give my expectations and guidelines for the day. You will be good. We are not going to be hitting anyone. You are smart. You are a good boy. Like, these are the things that I'm trying to influence into my child currently. So moving on to the last two. We have bipolar 1. Most of you guys are familiar because everybody got that cousin, that auntie that don't show up for holidays, or when she do show up, they act like they drunk or always got an attitude. So bipolar 1 is diagnosed when a person is experiencing a manic episode. During a manic episode, people with bipolar 1 disorder experience extreme increase in energy and may feel on top of the world or uncomfortably. Good Lord, why was that hard to say?
It's
Uncomfortably.
a big word. It's long.
Girl, long, irritable in mood. So they have real highs or they got some real dark, almost demonic type lows. It be some real Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of behavior. That's a manic episode. Depending on whatever triggered them to have that episode will determine if they have a real, real high or a real, real low. The last one is schizophrenia. When schizophrenia is active, symptoms can include delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, trouble with thinking, and lack of motivation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of us that have ever partaken in THC, especially who is like God Himself he took His time with that strand. Y'all may have been watching TV and the TV talked back to you, right? Okay.
Real
You
slow.
might have felt like you was watching SpongeBob and Squidward came out and was just moving all in front of your face. You might have cotton mouth. So
Carl, that sound like that THC ain't too pure. It sound like it's laced with some
no,
LSD,
girl,
which
no,
it
no,
could be
that
some
lace had me in the
formaldehyde,
corner
something.
drooling. Y'all remember Friday when Smokey was in the cuckoo's nest? That's what
Yes.
it's laced. That was laced. But so, or you have trouble thinking or lack of motivation. We know if your kid smoke weed, they don't care. They don't. They don't care. They don't got no energy to do nothing. They hungry as hell. You wave a burger in their face, they gonna get some energy because they hungry as hell. But if I just wanted to walk you guys through that, because do you see some of the side effects to smoking THC, especially in adolescents whose brain is not 100% formed or developed?
Yeah.
Those can mimic actual diagnoses. But without you having that communication or having that understanding or bond with your child and you're being reactive to the situation, those symptoms present as schizophrenia, ODD, DMDD, bipolar 1. So side effects of misdiagnosing or over diagnosing.
Yeah. So at this point, the kid has the diagnosis, right? And
Yep, they got it.
they know. I mean, we talk about it with them. Oh,
Yep.
I got depression. I mean, they don't know any better, you know. Oh, depression, bipolar, ODD, and they go and look up, read information on the internet. They do.
And it be them internet doctors that kill me, because you'd be surprised the teenagers that we talk to
Oh
that
my
be
God.
telling us and be using words. And I'm like, I didn't even learn that until I was in my late 20s. How you know that at 13?
I had to go to school
No,
to learn that one.
yeah, I had to go to school and have a teacher tell me and break it down, because some of these words, you'd be like, what is, huh?
Yeah.
You're having your affect presents. What is affect? Every time I hear affect, I be thinking of that little duck.
Look,
So
look,
how can you use that in a sentence?
and then they say the word wrong. That's how you know they got it off the internet. I
I'm
had a
trying to
kid,
think of
sidebar.
it. Be so good.
I had a kid try to tell me they were analytical. And how did she say that name? Because she was like, yeah, whenever I fixate, I get real analytical. But she didn't say analytical. She was like, anatolic or
Oh,
something. I said,
analytical.
analytic. She didn't even get the call out. It was like analytic. I said, you get what?
Say that one more time. Use that in a sentence.
I get analytic. I said, okay, yeah, we about to go down this rabbit hole. Come on, I'm here for it.
Let's journey.
That's when
Let's
I'm gonna let
journey.
you talk. I'm gonna let you talk because I got a whole hour here. This about to be good. I'm gonna take notes too. This is
Yep,
fun at this point. And then
that part.
I circle you back around and I said, oh, so you become analytical in your thoughts. Oh, okay. And then they like, oh yeah,
That part right there.
analytical.
So
How you
then,
mess that
y'all,
up?
that part. So look, y'all, from the side effects of these misdiagnosing or overdiagnosing, children feed in to what you say. So I've always, when I have sessions with families, I let them know, don't cast your child in a role they're not prepared for. Because if you
Mm.
paint them as a villain, that's what they're going to be. So if someone is saying, oh, your child is schizophrenic, oh, you think I hear voices? You think I see things? Don't believe me, just watch. I'm going to show you that I hear things. I'm going to show you that I see things. But the other part of that is you're that's diminishing a person's image of self. So their self-worth has now decreased because now the one thing children never want to do or be or feel is different from their peers. So as we know, if you have been diagnosed with something and other people don't have that, that puts you in a box. You feel like you're the weirdo. You feel like you don't belong here. So now they're going to isolate themselves because that's an embarrassment. Who wants to really walk around telling people, hi, my name is Carl and I have bipolar 1.
Mhm.
Nice to meet you.
Or
That,
act out even more because they're so confused by it. Yeah.
and then a lot of people, when it comes to their children being diagnosed, a lot of people will only do the recommended, visits. And sometimes not even that, because if it's not court ordered, they won't follow through. So now
True.
that child is stuck with the perception that they're diagnosed with something really harsh, and they have to live with that until whenever they go seek their own mental health.
Well,
So
what about when the parent speaks of the child using the mental health term?
that's
Yeah,
annoying.
his depression does this, and her anxiety does this, and oh yeah, that's her bipolar. What?
So I'm a clinician, Sharon, and you know how I rock. I'll stop that dead. I never disrespect a parent in front of the child, but I will stop them and ask the child to excuse themselves. And when they come back, after I've corrected the parents, when they come back, I let them know your diagnosis does not make you. Your diagnosis is an extension of who you are, but that doesn't define you as a person. That means you have to be a little more aware of your feelings to determine, okay, I'm a little off today. Something ain't right. Let me find my grounding technique. Let me utilize my coping skills. Let me speak to Sharon. Let me speak to Carl. But your diagnosis is not define who you are as an individual. Hell, I was diagnosed with ADD, which
My
explains a lot.
my ADHD made me do it.
Yeah, it explained a lot. Now that I think about it, I might still suffer, but it helps me be the best me that I can be. So the last part I want to talk about for my part, y'all. Now they've been diagnosed, okay? So when your children are being diagnosed, they inform all parties that engage with your child and inform them of the diagnosis, inform them that they are seeking mental health services. They're put on a 504 plan, they're on an IEP. And a lot of y'all may not even know what that is, but an IEP is the academic portion, meaning that you are not able to cognitively grasp the information presented in your normal day-to-day class. A 504 means your child is bad as hell. And to ensure that they do not get suspended, we're going to slap yet another label on them so that this will deter them from receiving the full punishment that any other of the regular kids would receive.
Carl, I'm going to say that what you described is the dark side of the IEP and the 504. The way that they are supposed to be used is to give your child the additional resources that they need if they are, falling behind in their academics.
Mhm.
Maybe they need more time on their test or something like that. Maybe they need to take breaks. Maybe they need to test in a smaller room. It's supposed to give your child resources to help improve their academics. But I will say sometimes they are held to hurt. They are put in
It's a
place and
hindrance.
end up hurting you.
Hmm. It's a hindrance.
It,
So I
it's a,
want to.
it's an additional. It's used as an additional label. Yeah.
So I want to go just a little bit deeper into that, y'all. So, if any of you guys, matter of fact, let me ask you guys: have anybody ever heard of the phrase "from school to prison pipeline"? Just type yes, type
Yes.
I'm here. We want to know if you alive and you with us tonight, because y'all
I heard.
quiet today.
I know we talking about the children. Is this is a serious. This is a serious topic.
It
Um,
is.
because the children are our future. We need to teach them well so that
And
they
let
can lead
them
the way.
show them all the beauty they possess inside. Hallelujah.
Hmm.
Hallelujah. But this downside, as we wait for a few of y'all to let us know that you with it, thank you, Ava. Ava's here. Melissa, you here with us? Vanessa, you still here? Um, we still are trapped into this society where children are raising children. Their
Yes, don't get me
parents
started on the
ain't
crack
even
epidemic.
25. And they best friend is their 4-year old. So now they growing up together.
Yeah.
I,
And you have a lot of like still today we have a lot of teenage parents. So teenage being 13, 14, 15, having children. So they're not that much older than their child. And they're all
mhm.
growing up together. So yeah, I mean parent, I wouldn't know how to parent at 13, 14, 15. Look, I ain't know how to parent at 33.
I'm
Okay.
learning. This 4-year old kick
I
my
had
ass. So I'm
how to
learning
figure it out and read. And thank God I'm a therapist,
that part.
and I pray. All of those things helped. But my gosh, imagine having that at 13, 14, 15,
Yeah.
16.
And the things that they find funny, oh my God, did you hear a little bone Quisha just said shit? And they think that's funny. So now that kid is gonna think like that's cute. I can say what I want to say, my mama. And then when you, as the parent, have finally matured and you try to actually parent your child, that developmental stage and that window of opportunity is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You can't correct me now. We've been doing this for 10 years. Strong. Strong. Now you want a parent. Like, boy, get out of here.
Yeah,
Ava said we need to educate parents, teach them to be queens and kings, and teach them how to correctly advocate for their child. We're missing the village. That's so
agreed.
true. So
Yeah,
true. So, the school to prison pipeline, it's been stated that African American or Black American children or excuse me, just Americans in general, are 3.5 times more likely than their white classmates to be suspended, according to a nationwide study by the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights. This study, along with numerous others, demonstrate and show how minorities are being targeted and deprived of their education, which in return causes them to live a life of crime.
mm,
Let's put it out there. You're suspending the children for 4 days, 2 weeks. That means they're not getting that education. 9 out of 10 times, their mama works 2 jobs. She's pulling a double. She works the third shift just to make sure she's meeting the requirements to be a parent, to be a fit parent, which
mm-hmm.
they playing video games, kicking it with their homies, whatever the case is. So, Black children with these diagnoses, there's a zero tolerance policy that's been placed in schools.
Policy.
Zero tolerance. So, after a certain amount of suspensions, in school suspensions, all of that, it gets counted. They keep it in the record so they know this is your fourth time being suspended in less than a month.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, these policies have been placed as a fail-safe mechanism, meaning, all right, strike one. Okay, now we're on strike four. So you as an individual cannot function in a normal school setting. So what we're going to try now is an alternative school.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm in a school with a lot of children that look like me, act like me, sound like me, do the things that I do. So am I really learning, or am I just going to continue the same behavior that I was doing in the regular school? So in schools that get you sent to alternative schools, so the alternative school ain't working. So now we have DJJ workers. You're not following the requirements at the alternative school. So maybe you need to go to the juvenile detention center. Juvie. Everybody's heard of Juvie. Home of the free, land of the beatdowns.
Yeah, the place that we tend to celebrate juvenile detention, juvie.
Man, I did
Calling
6
it
months.
juvie alone, nothing to be proud of. But in our culture, it is something that we celebrate.
Because that's the best of the best, the baddest of the baddest. You went to
the tough of
juvie
the
and
tough.
came out.
Yeah.
Oh, ain't nobody gonna mess with you at school because see, you crazy enough to get sent to juvie. See, that's not my lived experience. Mine was, oh, you was crazy enough to get in trouble and Regina got called and you came back to school. Oh, you bad. You right. I bet you she won't get called for this one again. Not today. Uh, so new data has been proven and shown that youth of color are still more likely to be incarcerated than whites, with African Americans or Black Americans nearly 5 times more likely to be locked up than their white counterparts, and Latinos and American Indians 2 to 3 times more likely. So our melanin already places us in a higher category of being targeted not only by police officers, not only in the school system, but it's a trickle down effect. What you do at home impacts what you do at school, which can result to you being placed in the system because you called and you got DSS involved and the police involved, and they're giving you the help they deem is necessary for the moment. So the school to prison pipeline is real. They are profiting on our young brothers and sisters, our children being placed in these programs or camps or facilities for 4 months, 6 months, 9 months. I know somebody that was in there for about a year and a half. Granted, he needed to be in there. He did. Because he drugged that post security guard at my high school. Lord, oh, he dropped him. Y'all, he dropped him like a bad credit score. And he was like 6'2".
To the bad credit.
Girl, a bad credit score. That boy was 6'2" and had to be like 135. And when he dropped that big triple neck security guard, like a 401 credit score, y'all, I was like, you going to jail. And jail he went. He did go. All right, Sharon, let's talk to them about the bad parents. Let's wrap up. I can't be this serious too long. I'm itching.
I know. So look, y'all, we have to do better as parents. So we need to pay attention to our children, pay attention to their behaviors. We need to talk to them every day, full out conversations. We need to make sure that we take as much intentional time as we can with our children. I'm a single parent. I know the single parent struggle, the working 2 full-time jobs and in school at the same time trying to raise 2 kids. I get it. It's a lot. It's a lot of self-sacrifice. When I tell you it's a lot that I did not do for myself so that I could do what I needed to do for my kids, it's a lot of self-sacrifice. But we have to do it because, like Carl Salazar, they didn't ask to be here. So we have to do our part. Maybe you might have to get up a little earlier, talk to them before they go to school, call them on the phone, talk to them before they go to bed. Whatever you need to do, we need to go that extra mile. Make sure that we have somebody in our corner. Ava mentioned the village. We got to have somebody that can help pour into our kids, whether it's your pastor at church, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your bestest cousin, whoever it is, it needs to be a trusted individual. Can't just leave them and dump them off with anybody. because then your child ends up with a traumatic experience, right? So like the kid that I said, got touched 30 days ago. Now 20 days later, for the next 20 days, he's been acting out, and you don't understand why, but you blame it on, oh, he in high school now, so now he's hanging out with those thug kids. No, that's not what happened at all.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you touch him, or whenever anybody touches him, now he's ready to fight. He's jumpy and ready to fight all of a sudden. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like that before. So what has changed? If he was touched, that is what has changed, and
Mm-hmm.
now whenever someone touches him in a certain way, it's a trigger. It's a trauma reminder. Trauma reminders come in all kind of forms too, and I believe we talked about that. But these things trigger our kids on a day-to-day basis, and then kids deal with a lot. What about, there was some girl, there's been a lot of violence in the city, and like
Mm-hmm.
young kids getting murdered. Your children know these kids. They
Mm-hmm.
are not able to handle these series of loss and not have anybody to talk to about it. That's a traumatic experience too. Two of their homies died. They no longer see these people, these kids their age,
Mm-hmm.
every day. And we don't consider these things. So we have to be better parents, more intentional about having intentional quality time with our kids where we know our kids.
That
Now,
part.
the parents who have ignored all of that, right? Now your child is at that school to prison pipeline stage that Carl was talking about. Now you want to get all involved. Come on. Now you want to go to therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you want to say, well, I know maybe I ain't do this or I ain't do that, but I don't want to say shame, but I do want to say do better.
Do better.
Do better.
Can we
Because
pause? Sharon, hold on. Hell no. Hell no. We're going to pause because we both get this. Ladies and gentlemen of the court for TDT, as therapists, we want to let you know a secret, okay? Lean in. Lean in close as I say this. We do not have a damn wand, okay? We don't got a wand. We don't got a bag of tricks. We
no
don't
fairy
have
dust.
fairy dust, pixie dust, Freddy Cougar dust. We don't got none of that dust things. Nothing. We don't have that. What you guys need to understand, stop putting unrealistic expectations on us therapists, okay? We do what we do because we are the best at what we do. However, comma, and it takes time. Your child is not going to change in 5 minutes. They are not going to leave our office, our computer screen, the comfy couch that they cradle a teddy bear. They're not going to leave that session cured. They're not going to leave that session reformed. None of that. They're going to leave that session 9 out of 10 times, especially if it's the first, pissed off because they're being forced to do something they don't want to do.
Possibly,
As
yeah.
therapists, it takes us time. It's called building rapport. Understand that it takes time. You, as an adult, do not trust everybody that you see. What the hell make you think a child is going to trust yet another adult that is making them or forcing them or helping guide them to the realization that you fucked up and we're here to help. We're not judging you because that's what they think. They think we're judging them. They think that we are being overly critical about their parents' parenting styles. Sometimes we do. But that's just human nature. I would have beat them too. That's just me. But we don't got no tricks. We don't got no tricks. I just want y'all to hear that because some of y'all have a delusion and then it identifies where your child got it from because you think because you called us and we speak to them, they're cured. That don't
Mm.
happen.
Yeah, especially when they
Sorry,
do
Sharon.
good for like a week. They do good
Girl,
for a
that
week or
part.
two,
And then
and
they
then
stop
we can't
calling us.
find you.
They stop calling us
2 months later, you back.
because they done burnt down the half of the house. That part.
But Carl, we got to get them into our office first, right? You have to. our people in our community, we have to break the stigma of mental illness. We cannot be scared to go talk to someone about the problems that we are having. If you are consistently having sad days, anxious moments, worries, constant worries, fears, that's not normal. And
No.
although you may have lived this for years, it's not normal. We have to break the stigma of mental illness and say, and be able to, so parents, to be able to say to yourself, because you're the one with the mental illness, right? And say to
Mhm.
yourself, okay, something ain't right with me. I need to go talk to someone. And then when you see these changes in your child, you need to immediately take them to go talk to someone. We
Mhm.
got to break this stigma. And the stigma is in the village. So the village got to clean up their yards. Like, we got to do better. They want to call us
Definitely.
quacks, and what's some of the head doctors and all of this
Head
other stuff,
doctor, the head shrinks.
shrinks and all this other stuff. But you're the one that's suffering from your condition.
Mhm.
So if you bring it on in the office ahead of time, before you get to the worst part, because it doesn't go away. The longer you take to deal with it, the worse it's going to get. Your symptoms
Mhm.
are going to get worse. They're going to become more frequent. You're going
Yep.
to experience these things more intensely. Trauma
Very
doesn't
much
go
so.
away. It's always there, and it'll leak out every now and then randomly, pop up in the middle of the day while your child is in class, and you want to know why he got up and ran out.
Mhm.
People don't act irrationally for no reason. There is something going on. Children are not bad.
Mhm.
Children have experienced something bad. Children have witnessed behaviors from their parents that are just ridiculous and
Mhm.
that they are mocking or mimicking.
Mhm.
So, all of these things, in my opinion, fall on the parent. And we have to do better.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
That was good, girl. That was beautiful. These serious ones, girl. Ugh,
They're tough.
I try.
They're
Girl,
tough.
it really, we want y'all to know, even as therapists, it'd be tough for us, especially on T.D.T, where we tell you the damn truth, and then I feel like I got to be reserved.
I had to
But
sit here and
y'all,
tell you that you a terrible parent,
yeah,
that you need to do better. Do better. Pay
and it's a
attention.
hard pill to swallow, y'all. It's again, as Ava mentioned, and as um, Sharon brought back up, the reminder of it is we need a village. We don't have that.
A functional village. We
That
can't
part.
have all the worst players in the village.
No, hell no. They need to continue on the bench. It's bench their ass right over there. Don't let them come to the village. They can look, but don't come in.
They
But
can't
we
come
need
through
a
the
village.
fence. Yeah.
Like my son, he knows who Sharon is. He knows who the people that I value their opinion. He knows who they are. And if they ever spoke to him when he's older, you know, he knows that he can trust them and trust their word and that they mean well by him for his
Mhm.
growth. But not everybody is fortunate to have that. But one thing that parents we need to do is always do inventory. You're never too good to improve. You're never too good to change. You, as a parent, we have to stay diligent and ever evolving because these kids is getting crazy as hell. The things that they do, it I thought it was something when you stole from Kmart and ran out because you got a bag of chips. Ha ha. These children are doing some things that we didn't do in the 90s. Hell, we didn't do in the early 2000s. These new millennia oops, these children is off the chain. They are the true definition
Carl,
of zero bucks. Zero.
they don't. They're not that way for no reason though.
Exactly. So parents, evolve. Do better. Your
Hmm.
one style that worked with your oldest, who's now a grad student, that same approach may not work on your youngest. They may
Because they
need a
have
little
different
more attention.
personalities. Yeah.
Exactly.
Every child is unique and need unique attention.
Yes. Yes.
I
So,
like how
girl, you
you
want to
are
read these?
encouraging the
Huh?
self-development. So I like how you are encouraging the self-development.
Yeah, because girl, I'm telling y'all, and I love to talk about lived experience. I thought as a parent, I was gonna rock it. My first degree is in criminal justice. My second degree is social work. Now I'm licensed with it. Ooh, I'm gonna be the best. And this 4-year-old keeps me on my toes.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
Sharon, you see him. He
Uh-huh.
he
I'm
be on it,
surprised he's on
y'all.
your back right now.
No, no, baby. He has to go night night.
Right.
No. But
At that
I
bad
have
time.
to take inventory. I gotta call Sharon, like, girl, he working my nerves. Listen, I gotta call one of my I call them my tribunal. Sometimes I need all three of y'all to help me because I need help. I don't know it all. Sharon
Mm-hmm.
got two kids that are older than me, or older than me, excuse me, older than mine. So you've been through this 4-year-old stage. Girl, help me,
Yeah.
please. You know, Ava, I know her. We cool. Your children is smart, smart. Girl, help me get to that part. What can I do? Let me know. Like, and
And that's
that's
we
my
got to be there
village.
to support each other. We do have to be there
Exactly.
to support each other. We have to want to be a part of the village.
Exactly. And,
Because
and
I don't
one
want no
person
look,
can't manage it.
I don't want you to get so wound up you end up in jail. I done been through 4-year-old stage. They take you to the edge.
And ladies,
Don't cross the fence now. Don't put your foot out there. Just take a moment.
man, I'm telling y'all, for the fathers, your baby daddy, your boyfriend, whatever the case is, know that as men, we lack that nurturing side. And when I say we lack it, it's not as easily accessed as it is for females. For
Okay.
men, we're like, stop, do this, do that. We're very analytical in our approach. You need to brush your teeth, wash your face, put your clothes on, come down the steps. Why are you brushing your teeth through your shirt as you're going down the steps and your face ain't washed? Where did you miss that? But mamas come along, come on, baby, let's go wash your face. Now you know your daddy a little crazy. You missed your tooth. Get that last tooth. Brush your tongue. Brush your tongue. And side note, ladies and gentlemen, some of these rooms be small. Okay. As a clinician, I would just like to tell you, brushing your teeth is not just your teeth. Okay.
The
In
whole mouth.
masks, we can smell it. You got to brush your tongue. Because some of y'all breath be smelling like something died in this portion of your throat. And I have to sit there and smell decay.
Not through
This
the
is the
mask. Jesus. I've
PSA.
enjoyed my mask for that reason.
Yes, this is a public service announcement. Before you meet your clinician, chew
Floss.
some gum, floss, gargle, and repeat it twice before you come and sit down. Your breath be humming, and then you think we're emotional with you. It's us breathing through our tear ducts. And it comes out in the form of a tear. Y'all breath be, oh, it's
I'm,
in a title ring fight.
I'm so thankful for the mask mandate. I don't think I'm ever going to stop wearing mine. It
Girl,
protects me from smells.
Sharon, have you ever had somebody who breath be so funky it's almost like you can taste it? Like, what did you eat? It's it's back here. It's in the back of my
Look,
esophagus.
look.
Oh, your
Oh,
breath. Oh, it be humming.
you making my stomach turn. Back
Girl,
on track. I do need to just wrap up just a few more things. Parents, I can't just let you off that easy. I'm just gonna have to just say what needs to be said. Okay, so here
I'm
we go.
trying to save y'all.
Okay, well look, sorry, but so you let these services into your home when you should have taken your child to see a mental health counselor first. Okay, now all your dirty laundry is out. Uh, out. Everybody all up in your business. Now, please stop ignoring the signs of mental health with your children. when they are young, because the issues grow as they grow. I tell my parents, if you don't get this under control by fourth grade, I don't know. This is going to be extremely challenging to
Mm-hmm.
try and correct these behaviors later. The acting out or the mental illness symptomatic behaviors and patterns, well, they are the symptomatic behaviors and patterns that you see, and it's from you being controlled by the stigma of mental health and ignoring these symptoms for years. So guys, we got
Mm-hmm.
to do better. And the mentality of what happens in this house stays in this house, is a detriment to the entire family. Everybody is
Mm-hmm.
suffering with secrets. We got to stop it. If you are receiving mental health services, stop ending treatment after your child behaves well for a week. We talked about that, okay? The mental
Mm-hmm.
illness does not go away that quick. I understand that it may be a inconvenience for you, but is it really an inconvenience if it's something that's helping your child?
Mm-hmm.
No, no. You ain't got to go to the mall on Wednesday at 4:30. You don't. Cut it out. Do better. Take accountability and responsibility for your child being in the system. They did not get here by themselves. No child is born bad. No child is bad at all, like I just explained. There is something that these parents are not doing
Mm-hmm.
that's causing these behaviors to happen, whether you were not paying attention or whether you're modeling terrible behavior.
That part.
Stop telling your children family information that is not age appropriate, okay? 4-year-old don't need to know everything about how they daddy ain't never done nothing for them, and just all the I've had so many kids be able to tell me more about their ain't-ish dad. And I'm like, you ain't, first of all, you 7 and you ain't never
Mm-hmm.
met him. How do you know all this terrible negative information? That's
They know the
toxicity.
credit score. They know his
Grooming,
last girlfriend. All of that.
all of it. What he in jail for? Ain't never met him though. I mean, we do have to protect our children from some of this adult stuff. And then lastly, you can do better by spending more intentional time with your children and doing things that your children want to do.
That part.
So make sure it matters to them. That's about all that I have. I don't think I was too terrible.
No, you wasn't. I thought you was gonna go a different route. You did real
No,
good, friend. Proud of
no,
you.
I want to encourage us to be more positive and less toxic and just to be more intentional, do better. Want to do better for your child if for nothing else.
That part. That part. All
Is
right.
it?
So
Can I ask a question?
go ahead, girl.
And not maybe I just want to make an observation since we're talking about children. We went to open house this week,
Mm-hmm.
and whilst I was at open house, I saw a mother with a bonnet on her head, a black bonnet on her head. And I looked at the child next to her. Pretty, pretty child. And the child looked like she had on lounge clothes. I mean, it's summertime. The kids ain't dressed up. They don't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't we just have a whole conversation about bonnets? Mamas wearing bonnets and then the children. This little girl looks like she could have so much potential if she had someone to just model what success and excellence look like. I don't care how much money you have or don't have. You can take 5 to 10 minutes to do something to your hair. Whether you pull it all back into a ponytail, put on a cute hat, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But look like, I mean, this was at open house. And I did look at her attire and she looked like she had on lounge clothes too. And open house, this was 10:30 in the morning. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, no excuse. Why are you all up at the open house with a bonnet on? I am so sick and tired of y'all. Come on. We have to be able to model for our children what it looks like to show up at school, like you're
And,
ready for success.
and maybe that we can only blame it on the fact that they didn't have someone to model what success looks like. Because, ladies, as much as I love seeing my wife in leggings, there are certain things y'all just, it's not meant for you, ladies.
And then it's a
Um,
time and a place for it. You can wear
and
your
it's a
leggings
time and
when
a
you
place.
working out, but it's a
Yeah.
time and a place for it.
And
And you
stop
can
wearing,
actually, Carl, some
oh,
of the
go
I've
ahead.
seen some really big girls. I don't know if you're talking about the big girls or what, but I've seen some really big girls in some leggings with a cute top. I've even seen some hook some heels up with them and was looking good. Okay.
Yeah,
Look like you care about yourself. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. Maybe I shouldn't even say look like you want to be successful. Look like you care about yourself. Look like you washed your face today. Okay. That's all I'm asking for.
as a man, I am asking, ladies, you are a representation of your household, okay? And I know my son, because my family, we like to crack jokes. So my son would be the one at Hope and House that's gonna remember what your mama looked like. And the moment that you say something he don't like, my
Oh
son
my
gonna crack jokes. That's why your bald headed mama came with that black thing, big old plastic bag on her head with one slipper. He gonna have
Okay.
jokes.
That was my family. You got to have tough skin to have lived
Tough,
in my house. Okay.
tough,
Don't be
and
all that embarrassing your child.
that part.
And look, and so she's sitting there talking to one of the teachers. I'm looking around because I watch other people and how they're watching you. So I'm looking around and I see the teachers looking. I said, see, I ain't the only one looking at you. Everybody's looking at you right now, and they're going to label this little girl for absolutely no reason. Oh, her mama don't care.
Hmm.
Let me tell you something. We took that tour of the school that we have been in for a couple of years. I was at the front of the line. Okay. They saw my face. I was
That
dressed
part.
appropriately. I asked questions. I mean, come on, don't look. You know when
Mine is
Sharon Dickey
next
walks up
week.
in a schoolhouse, don't to not play games because of how I present myself. You're not going to take advantage of my children at all.
I agree.
Don't think
Vanessa
I'm home with a bonnet on.
Vanessa said yes, but your bonnet should never leave your house. I agree. Should never leave your house. Period. But we're gonna talk about mannerisms at some point too, because I feel like that should be a mental health diagnosis. Because some people's mannerisms is just mannish. We're gonna think of something. We're gonna think of something. But Sharon,
Look,
look, girl, that's our time. That's our
look.
time.
I got so Vanessa said she was talking about mint oil or mint smell that she left on one of her masks. It's got to be the mask that she's talking about. She
Hmm.
said she puts essential oils on her mask. Okay, yes, I do too.
Does it work?
Well, I use lavender all the time, and yes, I mean I'm sitting there breathing it in that close. It keeps me calm.
See,
So
mine is
yes,
cologne. I spray the cologne on mine now.
so I
So I
can't.
may be smelling like Gucci, Guilty, Prada,
Look, it's
Versace,
smelling good from the mask all the way down. I ain't
all the
mad
way
at it.
down.
Look, I
'Cause
love what Ava said here. She said, take your kids on a date, spend one on one time, show your kid he matters and is loved. I take my children on dates all the time. We do that, and it is fun. And then, yes, Vanessa, yeah, we read down, right? Your bonnet should never
yeah,
leave the house.
ever,
Yes,
ever.
please.
Oh, this was a good, needed session. This was a good TDT talk. We have never talked about it. So we do just thank you guys for tuning in and buckling up with us, but we got to do better, y'all, because it's affecting our children. And as clinicians, we see it all the time.
Yes. So, Carl, thank you. So, y'all, I be kicking and screaming when it comes to talking about the kids, and that's why we have not done a show until today about the children because it's me. So, Carl, thank you for making me see the purpose in this topic
Yay.
and not being afraid to go ahead and address it, I guess.
You're welcome. That's why we here. We feed off of each other and we tell the truth all the time.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. We're gonna get out of here. Do you hear this thunder on my
I
end?
I heard it a minute ago.
Yeah, it's real bad out there. So y'all be safe. Be careful with your social distancing and the mask. My county has a mandatory mask mandate, which I'm very thankful for. Yeah, so be careful out here with the vid.
Because it's real. Y'all heard Cardi B. Coronavirus. Shit getting real. All right, co-host, take us out, girl.
Good night.
Night.
Welcome to the truth. Welcome to the truth, where the truth don't lie. 3 T's, no lie.
Thank you. Tune in next week. Same black channel, same black host, and we'll holler at you at the same black time. Bye.
Bye.
Right.